I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, in the gripping thriller No One Is Safe at Night by Janelle Barker, a chilling tale unfolds as a serial killer wreaks havoc in Melbourne. Targeting young women, and three best friends must confront their worst fears to survive the nightmarish ordeal. We are delighted to have this very talented author, Janelle Barker, join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Janelle, good to see you today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure.
Janelle is in Australia. It's winter. She's outside. She's braving the cold, but it's a beautiful backdrop. So we're glad to have her here today. You have quite an imagination. No One Is Safe at Night. Tell us, what was the inspiration behind this book?
I originally write poetry and I wanted to challenge myself. I've watched thriller movies and horrors since I was yay high, and I just thought they're all quite predictable, and I wanted to create a book that was not as predictable, and kept you guessing to the end with twists and turns, and hence why I gave it a go. I believe I succeeded in it, and after you finish reading, I think you think to yourself, this would be a good feature film.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So I enjoy reading it. If you've got a strong stomach and like the gore and everything, you will love it. You
Yeah,
will love it.
I agree.
It'll keep you guessing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
novel. It keeps you turning the pages. You're wondering who the killer is. You're wondering, you
yes,
know, how this will all end. It's very interesting. And like you said, I think it would translate to film very well. And who would
yes.
you star in this film if you were going to cast it? Who are you going to put in this movie?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, hopefully you'd
I
save a
would
role
like.
for me. So one part for me at least. Okay.
Oh gosh, you've put me on the spot. Um, I'd have to get back to you on that one. There
Okay.
is so
Okay.
many actresses that I like, and it's a good female role
Yeah,
lead
it is. It is.
in this book. Yeah, very strong
Maybe
female role.
Jennifer Lawrence. What do you think about her? Possibly.
Oh,
She'd
possibly.
be good. She's got a lot of
Yes,
personality that she could bring to the role. So I think that would be great.
yes,
Yeah,
that would be great.
absolutely. Tell us a little bit about Ava, Allie, and Ivy and how they cope with the fear that is engulfing the city and, still trying to keep their lives and relationships and their friendships on track.
Yeah, they have known each other since um, high school and
Mhm.
primary school, and they remain together and never want to part. They all are in a big friendship of partners as well.
Mhm.
And then this serial killer comes to light in their town. Um, it stops for a little while, and then it starts up again, and fear is starting to engulf the city because passed on dead women are coming up everywhere.
Mhm.
So it gets to a point where they need to move on and get out because of fear and save themselves,
Mhm.
and decide to take a trip where there is twists and turns that they would never see coming that have changed their lives forever, each
And
of them.
and that's the camping trip to the lake, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then from there, it all goes crazy, gory, thrilling, suspenseful, everything.
Exactly. And a
Yeah.
camping trip when there's a serial killer out there is enough to, make you go
Yeah.
crazy. I remember I was growing up when there was a killer in the United States called the Son of Sam, and he was
Yes. Yeah.
randomly killing people in their cars and so forth, and at nightclubs and things like that. And he was striking near
Yeah.
my hometown, and everybody was telling ghost stories about him and scared to death and jumping out of the bushes and scaring each
Yeah.
other. Did you do some research about serial killers for your book?
I it sounds really sick, but I watch serial killer true crime every day.
Oh no. Oh
Every day.
no.
I just go home and turn on the Foxtel true crime serial killers and yeah.
Why do you think it is
It,
fascinating reading about the
yeah,
crime. You don't want to see anybody killed, but
no.
I think it's trying to understand why
Correct.
the killer kills.
Yes.
We have a
Yes.
serial killer case right here in New York right now. It was called the Gilgo
Oh,
Beach Killer, and they just
wow.
captured him 13 years after the fact. He was 6'6", 250 pounds, and he would meet
Wow.
girls online and bind them and kill them and awful stuff. But they finally were able to catch him, more than a decade later. And people have been fascinated
Wow.
by it, just like this guy was a successful architect. He was married. He had a daughter who worked with him. So on one
Yeah.
level, he's got a completely normal life. On the other level,
Yeah.
it's like complete psychopath. And
Yeah.
that's what's scary is that, we could have, Janelle Barker here absolutely obsessed with true crime. And perhaps she's a stalker out there. I don't know. I don't want to
I,
scare anybody. I don't want to alarm the people around you. That's for sure.
no, but you nailed it. It's
Yeah.
the processes, their train of thought of what gets them to that point.
Yeah.
And that would be a book that I would like to write next
Yeah.
on a serial killer.
Yeah.
You
When
know,
you,
his life story and where did he come from? You know, how did he live and how did he get to the end
yeah.
in such a tragic way? Mm,
Yeah. So you would actually like to do like a nonfiction book about a serial killer.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been in rooms with serial killers or mass murderers, and in a court situation, and it's chilling
Yes, it would
because
be.
they're so absolutely empty. They have no empathy at all. All they care
Yeah.
about is saving their own skin. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Were you scared when you wrote this book? Were you like freaking yourself out a little bit? Did you get like, looking over your shoulder at night and walking a little bit faster and stuff like that?
No, no, because I love ghost stories as well. And I have written a book on true ghost stories from people around the world, and that fascinates me as well. But with this book, I couldn't key quick enough to finish the book. So
Right.
I was excited. It's like a cross between Wolf Creek and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's
Exactly.
a yeah, it's a little bit of both. So, but no, I love writing. I love imagination. Um, and that's where my focus will continue to go.
Have you worked on a screenplay for this at all? Have you decided, like, I know you'd love to see it as a film, and we all would. It's a great
Yeah.
book. It's got a lot of twists and turns, but what about writing that screenplay yourself? The sun comes up on a chilly Melbourne morning. A dark, shadowy figure is walking down the street, illuminated only by streetlights. We see a giant shadow cast. See? That's how
I
you
would
do
love that. Look, you're in. You could help me with
it.
this.
Exactly, exactly. We have to put our
If
brains together
somebody,
and work on that. Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now you
absolutely.
mentioned you like poetry, um,
Yes.
and you're a poet. Tell me a little bit about your writing career. When did you start? Have you had other works published? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, I started in COVID. The first year that was 2020, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was at a crossroads, and I pulled out an old diary that I had that had poetry in it from years ago, and I thought, let's just make it bigger. This book, and my poetry is raw, real, and deep, and it's about life events. I have written about Oprah, 9/11, Hitler, um, the Schindler's List situation, volcanoes in New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
life events. I love it. And I do research and then I put that all into poetry. So
That's some heavy
it's not,
stuff to put into verse.
it is, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And that comes naturally to me. And I really enjoy bringing out the emotions, victims of crime as well. I like supporting women and giving them confidence to move on from domestic situations and give them self-confidence as well. I myself has been through domestic violence, and I just want nothing more than to let women know you're worthy and move forward. You can do it. So a lot of my poetry is about strength as well and moving through hard situations. But I don't know if you can see them.
You have your dogs there with you or something?
Yeah, there's some there we go.
Oh, you got your books there with you. Okay.
Yeah, I got books here.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. Emotives is the name of that book.
Emotives 1, Emotives 2.
Great.
And there's No One Is Safe at Night.
There we go. That's a great cover. That looks like the opening shot of a movie. Almost like what I described. A shadowy man walks down the street as the sun is coming up.
And the dead body of the lady at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice that until now. It looked like a street. It looked like he was looking for a snow hill. Now I see it's a corpse. Yeah,
yes.
very good. Very good. Okay, that could be the movie poster as well. I think I got another career for you, as Janelle. I think you should do like a true crime podcast. I think you'd love it. I think you'd love the research. I think you'd love talking to the detectives and so forth, and finding about their investigative techniques and so forth. It is fascinating. I've done a lot of, as a reporter, I've talked to a lot of investigators about why killers kill. And the one answer I get is, if you and I have a problem with someone, we will not talk to them. We will move away. We will write them a nasty letter. We might make a phone call and curse them out. But for a killer, the killer's options are, well, I could kill the person, you know, and that's not in our normal person's range of possibilities. So it's a pretty interesting study. Yeah. And you have
there's no other thought process for them.
Yeah. It's it's a tool. Sometimes it's control, sometimes it's power, sometimes it's just an act of convenience. And that's what's very scary. And you have struck upon those chords, those very frightening chords in your book. No one is safe at night. That's a declarative sentence. It is also the title of Janelle Barker's book that will keep you looking over your shoulder at night to say, am I safe at night? When you read about the 3 young ladies and their terror at the hands of a serial killer. Janelle, before we leave you today, anything you want to let the audience know?
No, I hope you enjoy the story and keep safe.
Absolutely. Although no one is safe at night, so it's
no one is safe at night, and it all happens in the forest.
Exactly. Okay. Very scary indeed. Okay. Well, Janelle, thanks so much for joining us here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight. And always remember, no one is safe at night.